This is a follow-up video that shows how I made the actual modifications to my Masterbuilt Pro dual fuel smoker. And the two modifications I'm going to discuss are first the side port, if you will, that's what I call it, that allows the wire temperature probe to enter cleanly into the smoke chamber. And then the second one is the collapsible side shelf that gives you extra surface space, for utensils, carving boards, etc. And so for the temperature side port, it's really simple. And the three items that you're going to need, which you can pick up your local home center, are a watertight connector for UF cable, and I used the 1/2 inch. And what you'll see is in the middle is a rubber piece that really kind of supposed to be watertight, but also minimizes the amount of smoke that comes out of the side port. Then a reducing washer, purely cosmetic, just to kind of make it look a little cleaner. And then the last piece is a conduit lock nut, and that's a 1/2 inch, which corresponds to the connector. And it's very straightforward what you need to do. And I'll place this just right here. And so basically what you do is you take your drill with a metal bit. You drill the appropriate size hole, which I think is about 3/4 inch for that connector. You then get the connector, the reducing washer, put it into the hole, and then you take the conduit lock nut and simply secure it inside from the inside like that. And that is really all it is. And I'll try to show you a picture on the inside. You can probably see it right there. You can see the conduit lock nut. And what you want to make sure is to really line up the hole that you drill in between the shelf positions that exist. So you don't want to have it where it comes out right where you might be placing a shelf, because then it can kind of obstruct the temperature probe, wire temperature probe, from coming out appropriately. So I actually just lined it up kind of a little bit above center on these two right here, which is right above the latch. And so that's really it. Very simple modification, which makes it look real clean instead of having a wire come out of the top or the side of the door. And then with the collapsible side shelf, it's actually you can find it on Amazon. And what it is basically just a smoker side shelf from Masterbuilt. And it's actually it's for their digital smoker. And you just have to make sure you get the right one, because there's actually one that mounts on the opposite side, and which is fine if that's where you want to put this temperature probe. But obviously I had to kind of order a couple of them to get the right one, and there's just kind of the model number 20101613, and that should be the appropriate one. And as you can see, it'll actually have a little side piece there to secure it, which I actually cut off because it's not necessarily needed. And so basically it's very straightforward. On here, you just line it up. What it did is just kind of put it on there. The rear is very straightforward. It just kind of connects with the handle here. You just remove it and it lines up pretty straightforward there. And then here, you just kind of have to, let's see if I can do it. You'll see a couple, where you just line up, drill a couple holes to the appropriate size of the screw and lock nut. And I did actually put a couple washers here just so it wouldn't so it'd fit more securely and evenly. And but you can just see the bolts on the other side that hold it into place. And it's really straightforward, but it gives you almost double the surface space, which is really helpful if you have a large dish with your meats, and then also a cutting board to place everything. So it's been really helpful, and it just simply collapses. You just lift it up and then it collapses very nicely. And then the last modification I made since the last video is in the smoke chamber, or the wood chip chamber. And that's actually, I replaced the original I guess, wood chip pan, which I had a lot of issues with. It would flare up a lot, and so I had read online about using a cast iron skillet, which has done great, and actually found this great, it's actually from a Weber grill that was broken in half, and I just used that. I was also thinking of either using, the stovetop, a grate from a stovetop, gas stovetop, which would work as well, I would think, and then just, you place this, cast iron skillet. And I have not had any issues whatsoever with any flare-ups, and it produces great smoke. So I would highly recommend doing this modification of replacing the original, charcoal / wood chip pan with a cast iron skillet. It really has been great. I haven't had any flare-ups whatsoever. So those are really the modifications, and I've, it's kind of a little dirty. I apologize, but it's been a great unit, and these modifications have really kind of improved the effectiveness of my smoker.